that's sort of good enough. So the quickest thing they can do is actually steer up a little bit. By steering up, the bow sort of helps to just pop up a little. And you sheet on the main and just steer up a bit, and that will actually help to pop the bow up.
Mm-hmm. Once they put her in the drink, capsize, do these things have a turtle, or they just go inside?
Yeah, no, they'll turtle.
So what's the sort of there?
Well, it's just, I suppose like any dinghy, is just climb up, you're just holding the centreboard, pulling them up. Just pull them back upright. They've got to climb back in. The boat will be half full of water. Again, it's really important to have these buoyancy bags quite inflated and firm, because if they're not, they'll pull the boat up. It'll be 3/4 full of water, not half. Okay, and that's a shitload of water. So then they've got to, if they've done a capsize, generally I would say grab both bailers and just bail like buggery as quick as you can to get quite a bit of the water out. Once you feel comfortable that, you know, maybe there's just a few inches of water in the boat and you can sail it, then start sailing and kind of just start bailing again. But no different from any other dinghy as far as capsizing.
Can you reduce the water by bringing it up more on the bow when you pull it up?
Yeah,
so you got the flotation.
So sometimes the boats will come up and they're quite full, like almost to the gunnel.
Yep.
Sometimes the kids will get them up. If they're more pulling on the front part of the boat, they'll actually pull them up. It'll have a lot less water in it. Yeah.
Just the flotation there would lift it and allow it to drain a bit better and.
Exactly right.
Is there any trick with these of powering them up for the chop?
Well, just really through your settings there. So ease your outhaul a little. Put more twist on, which just softens the luff up. So you're easing your outhaul, softening the luff. You're just powering up for that. That's about it, really.
Yeah. Grant, you want a coffee?
Oh, Wellesley's going, yeah.
Good on you, Wellesley.
What flavour?
All right.
I'm fine, thanks. How you, Grant?
Whatever.
Yeah, full cappuccino, skinny flat.
Cappuccino with one.
Righto.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
He knows. Yeah, what else can I say?
So
very short time.
There's not. I think it's pretty much all the bits that move.
Yeah, it is.
We better make sure we put this rake back to where it should be, or it'll stay there.
No. Same as he's 15, you just don't tell him.
The book is really, really good. This has, it's like the Bible of Optimist stuff. I just make it.
Is that in the budget next
Yeah.
year?
I mean, if you want, I can leave it with you and.
I'll take it with you. We'll get one.
Just get one so that everyone can.
Yeah, we'll leave one in here.
I just made some notes I just wanted to cover. So sail setup, we talked about sail ties, measurement band, the controls, luff tension, sprit tension, boom bridle, mast, clamp or tie, hiking straps, bailers, tow line, main sheet. So the main sheet, sometimes, and it's kind of funny, it seems like the better kids or the more experienced kids and stronger kids will often put a 4-to-1 main sheet on here. And all that it requires is that you have a block tied off here, so like one of those tie blocks, and you just take this main sheet through here and then just back down and knot it off down at the bottom. That gives you a 4-to-1 system. Okay, anything over about, say 15 knots, 4-to-1 system is really good. Okay, when it's light and what I would call the standard Optimist setup, how you get boats and that's how they come, is with this 3-to-1. But a lot of the kids have found that 4-to-1 is much better, and I think for the smaller kids that are not so strong, a 4-to-1 system is really good. It does require a longer main sheet. Okay, so this main sheet I don't think would be long enough, because by the time you let that out,
Get another up and.
You still need another 1.5 metre of rope. You want to be able to actually hang on to the end of it. You don't want the end of the rope down in there. You want to be able to hang on to it. So this is a 3-to-1 main sheet length. You would need another 1.5 metres. It's about 8 metres, I think, a 4-to-1.
The wind speeds at which you're going to put kids on the water in the things, so the good kids, you can depower them and so on, but beginners?
Yeah, beginners, look, it's like any dinghy, any learn to sail, in this sort of conditions is perfect. 5 to 10 knots.
Yep.
But as I say, I mean, we did a training camp at Freshie for the WA kids before they went to the Nationals. That was a year ago, and we went out training. It was blowing solid 35 knots, and we decided to go out because we knew they were all Gold Fleet level kids. They were all quite well skilled kids. And they all handled it fine, and it's good. It's just basically helps them with the setup. They know they can handle it, and they just build the skills of sailing in that much wind. Sure, a few capsized.
Yep.
You know, we had a squall come through and it flattened a few of them, but they all survived. They all loved it.
It'd be a bit embarrassing if you had all the oppies out there and the 15s are staying ashore, really.
But it's, you know, you can
28 knots.
as I say, you can depower these pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Actually, Grant, just Scott wasn't here before. You were saying that there's some regional funding to send kids to West Sail this year.
Yes.
Just being talked about.
You're right.
So we need to
We'll look at.
talk to Grant
so
about that.
So the Ron Tough Foundation will probably send it out to the regional clubs saying,
Yep.
you know, we want to give scholarships to kids to come up to West Sail
Yep.
in Perth, which is normally about a $400 thing. So it's 4 days of training, and then it's the youth state championships after that.
Yeah.
But we need to make sure we get some kids to that.
Yeah. I can't. It's got most classes are involved in it, and I'm just trying to remember if the Pellies or the 125s are in it. Definitely the Oppies are.
The Pellies have been.
Yeah, the Pellies
for
have
years
been.
the kids have been going up
Yeah.
there.
There was only 1 or 2, I think, last year,
Was
or
there?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we have any kids up there last year?
No.
Well, that's something.
The nature of the Pally and the fleet is not as huge as it was, and certainly not in Perth. Yeah.
Sure. I'm a Pelly kid. I learned to sail Pelly kid.
Yes.
That's where I started. So yeah. So that's the main sheet. Checking jibing. Yeah. I've covered most of that stuff. So the only other one thing we try and do in an Optimist is not let the kids go on their knees in this boat. Only when it's like less than 5 knots do you put one knee down in the bottom of the boat. So we try and keep them on their feet all the time. Okay? The main thing with tacking is when they go from tacking, is they actually tack the boat. The best way to teach them the tacking technique, and pretty much like any dinghy, is lead with the back foot first. So their back foot after they may have even like tacked and the booms just come across, and then they go to what we call the oppie hop, or we can hop across. Back foot first over towards this corner, and it's got to land like over there. And then they basically just hop over like that. They've got the tiller behind their back, and they sit their bum down on the side. Still got the main sheet like this, and then they can, you know, do the swap around after that. So try and teach your kids not to sort of. A lot of them, as they get better, they should be not being on their knees. It's a bad habit for some of the kids. Some of the kids at Freshie are a shocker for it. I find them Freddo frogs. If I see them on their knees, they owe me a Freddo frog.
Maintenance, just thinking about maintenance of the boats and storage and anything unusual, or is basically pull it all apart?
Nothing more than any other boat. I think it's just checking, making sure your gear's good. You know, carry a few spare sail ties. So, you know, I can see one's tied onto here. So carry a couple of spare ties on the boat, because when they're sitting around before a start, the sail's shaking. Sometimes they can come undone and you can lose them.
Yep.
Just allows you to put them back on. I'll fix it. Just when it's really hot, again, is just be careful of your bags. This one's sitting in the sun, it's getting a bit firmer now. That's okay, that's fine. They're pretty durable, but just watch out when they're kind of rock hard. And the other thing we just teach the kids too is, it's just good habits when they're at this age too, is when it's hot again, is don't leave your foils in the sun, is just shove them. But nothing more maintenance than just hosing the whole thing off and storing it.
And sails, I see they're pinning backs. Is that what everyone's got, or
No,
is there a million different
It was
sorts?
probably
or?
just me, because I was getting some 15 sails in. I got some offie sails off them as well.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the flavour of the month at the moment is one sails that Paul Eldred does, simply because the kid that won the Worlds, and he won it 2 years in a row, pretty amazing result. Italian kid, he used one sails, so everyone's got to have one sails now. Before that, it was, and the other sails, I suppose, J sails is another good one. J sails come from Slovenia or something. No, Poland, I think it is. they're kind of a good benchmark. Molly always used J sails. They're always kind of good. And each sail has so for the J sails, they have a green sail, which is like a less than 30 kilos. They have a blue sail, which is a good all-round sort of sail, like around for kids 35 to 40 kilos. And then they have a J red, which is sort of heavier kids, sort of like 42 to 50 kilos.
Right.
So if you go to the websites, and this book has information, it'll show you that there's 3 or 4 different models, but depending on the weight of your kids. And it is quite important to have that. Right.
Yep.
So when you see a flat sail versus a full sail, there's quite a bit of difference.
Yep.
This is a medium sail. This is a Penellenbach's medium radial. So it's not super full. Like a J red would be way fuller than this, so just much deeper in its shape. This is a good all-round sail, I would say.
And so getting all the bits and bobs, like who's the dealer that like where's everything?
So getting, if it's just generic product like a ratchet block or a pulley or a bit of rope, no problem, you can get that anyway.
Yeah.
Some of the particular Optimist stuff, like the mast clamp or the footstep there, or the buoyancy bags or the bailers, it's important to have. Just mention this. Important to have a reasonable size bailer. Those tiny little ones are useless, because when the boat's full of water, you got to get the water out as quick as you can. So these are really good. These are fine. Don't have many smaller than that. So that gear, I think. What's the shop at south of Perth? Canning River Traders or something they're called, Coffee Point Marine or something. They had a whole bunch of hobby gear. I'm not sure whether they're still actually doing it or not. The other one was online was EBYC Optimist, but he's gone now, I think, and closed up. I think the other one that sells the stuff online is NB Sales, who are the guys in Sydney who they sell lasers and 29ers and stuff.
Yep.
They do hobby stuff as well.
Yep. The EBYC Optimist, we got a trolley from them just a few months ago. Has he gone since then?
I think he's gone. I think he's closed down and moved on.
Yeah, right.
So I think all of his stuff has gone to... Has it gone to them? I did hear that PSA, Performance Sailcraft Australia, who build the lasers, they're the licensed laser builder, they have taken over the EBYC Optimist.
Right.
So maybe go to Performance Sailcraft Australia, PSA. They would be another one. So those guys... actually, the other one in Perth, who's now got a bit of gear is Monkey Fist Marine. So Romy he's got a little factory in North Fremantle, so he's got a little bit of hobby gear as well.
Yep.
So any of that sort of specific gear, the spars, the rudder, the foils, all that sort of kind of stuff has to come through those guys. But any of the ties, the ropes, everything else.
It's all a bit generic.
Yeah. What else I've got in here? Sort of like a Codes flag. It's got all sail ties, there's a screwdriver in there. And then this collar here goes around the mast. Usually we change that like once a year. Okay.
Goes around the mast, the bottom of the mast where it sits in?
Yeah, so right at the deck level.
Oh, right, yep.
Yep, that goes around the mast and it's just where it pivots in the mast.
Yep.
So no duct tape.
No duct tape.
Preferably not. What we want in here is we don't want the mast to move too much sideways. Okay, we don't want it to move too much sideways, but we do want it to move fore and aft. Okay, when we're sailing upwind, it's obviously in the aft position. When we're sailing downwind, it goes forward, which is what we want. But we don't want too much here sideways. Okay? So sometimes these get worn out, or there isn't one, and you feel the mast and it's flopping all over the place. That's not very good either. Sometimes you need to change that, just depending on how. Sometimes they get worn, right? Yeah, exactly.
Killing that one. That one up. Doing that one, then it eased the top off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you got the water sail over the top.
I covered everything I wanted to.
There's still a bit of tension. Yeah, but that's a lot of that's on this, and this one being pulled down here. Is that?
Yeah, well,
that's pushing that way. Yeah, so this is all
limited by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it covers a fair bit.
Yeah. Well, it's the instant retuning, so.
Okay.
Good that they can adjust.
Yeah, there's quite
Well,
a bit you can do with it.
There's quite a bit more that you sort of than you think you can actually do.
Yeah.
You know, so you can tweak the boats quite a bit. I mean, we get like the top sailors, we get them to switch their buoyancy bags around so that this is at the front of the boat.
Yep. So it's not catching.
Simply so that this is not getting caught up.
Yeah.
Just kind of, you know, when you get
Fine tuning.
Yeah, when you're at the top end of your class, you fine tune a lot of stuff like that.
Yep.
So it doesn't get caught up like this. Your baler doesn't get caught up around the snorkel and stuff, and you can cut these under here, but it still gets caught under here and stuff.
Yeah, it's even harder there to release it.
So and then so that's out there. It's out of the way from here. And then what we do is once this is good here, we actually just the kids will just jam their balers under there. That means is when they're hiking out and they're actually sitting right out, they don't have to lean in. They just pick up the baler. Okay, so it's that technique underneath, obviously under the legs, scoop out, scoop out. So it's that technique.
Brilliant. Grant, thank you very much.
That's all right.
Covered a fair bit there.
Yeah,
So,
been through a bit of stuff, but that's just good start with the setup and just how everything works too. I think is just important, and just the correct way we need to teach the kids, the technique and stuff.
first time for you we've had them out and I looked at them in Perth, but I don't know, you guys have had a closer look at these things?
No,
I'm just setting him up.
First I've seen it.
Parents come along and go, what do you do with this bit? Trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But all boats have exactly the same control. It's how they
It's
do
just,
it.
It's
just
just how they
the
do it.
tweaking of.
These can just be a little unique.
They're little things like
They're all just reef knots, I think, aren't they?
Supposed to be.
that one 5 on the bottom. And,
Yeah.
just the way it's tied off.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you don't rig them up right, they're probably a pig to sail. And if you can,
No, that's right. Like if this tie wasn't tight and it was hanging off a centimetre and a half, then you would run out of, you wouldn't be able to pull the outhaul and stuff on. So it's just important to get it set up. Like this boat is just set up nicely now. And it didn't take us too long to do it. Right?
Oh, it's as easy to do it badly as it is to do it well.
Exactly.
It's the same stuff going on. It's just.
And that's why I keep on to the kids. It's just discipline. Like just put your sail down, starboard side up. Okay, then all your knots are all on the starboard side. Your sprit is up, and you can just check everything. It takes you 60 seconds to do that, and then you can put your mast in the boat. A lot of the kids will actually set all this up if they're not going to go out sailing for a while and it's a bit breezy. They'll then take the mast clamp off, just lay the sail back down on the ground so that it's just not flogging itself. But they get it pretty much set up, ready to go.
Sorry to interrupt, Dave and Scott. Can we have a chat about the course this morning?
Yeah.
I think we're
at that point.
we're kind of done. So.
Yeah. Got to go. Oh.